vision clear. From the culture we build to the confidence we feel. This is the Slide Podcast. Yeah, you know the deal. For the stories and the grind, leave the competition behind. Living out the dream, part of the Slide Field team. This is the Slide Podcast. The Slide Podcast. This is the Slide Podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Slide Podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Coach Aaron, and tonight, Banana Jake is joining me. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. You look tired. Are you training too much? It's the summer. You're supposed to be like on a break.
It's been a long day and a long week already.
All right, a long day. Tell me what a long day is like in the life of a 14-year-old.
13-year-old.
13-year-old. I'm trying to make you older. Tell me what a long day is, Jake.
So today I woke up at 7 o'clock, slept past my alarm, got yelled at, and then we went to the doctors to get a physical done, a sports physical, and then came home, took a nap, and then we went to a workout.
How long was the workout?
An hour.
And you had a long day, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you experience you know what? I can respect it, right? I can respect it. I know you put in work.
The workouts are tough.
Yeah, but also, dude, even during the school season, like I mess with you now, but you put in some work during the season, so
yeah,
it's all right to take a break, dude. But when you come on a show and you say you had a long day and it consists of a nap and a physical and an hour training, yeah,
it's a lot if you think about it.
Well, dude, you've been playing in some big boy tournaments here recently, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you playing with like 16 and 18-year-olds, is that right?
16U was the highest 16. I played against. Yep.
How you doing against these dudes?
Well, the one game I pitched in that tournament, I didn't do so good, but I mean, for the first time facing against kids that old with a BB core, I didn't do too bad. And then this past weekend we played 15U, and I did really good. Like I pounded the zone a lot, but defense does its thing sometimes. And
dude, listen, here's the benefit that you have. There's no one that really cares about your win-loss record right now.
Yeah,
no one is going to ask you what your ERA is right now. And if they do, that's not people you need to be talking to. Right. So
and then this upcoming weekend I'm playing with SBA.
Okay. So you get to play in your age group a little bit.
Yeah, that's with like Dalen. I'm on the same team as him this weekend.
Oh. You got to get him to do some interviews then, make him do some. So, if not, we're going to have some words. Because Dalen, if you're listening to this, dude, wake up. I'm just kidding. I love Dalen. Dude, I was in Omaha for the College Baseball World Series. Definitely missed not having you there. I know you were involved in some tournaments. I get it. Yeah. But check out my gear, man. What do you think? I'm like, I got the scout team. I got the national team shirt. I got the pink hat. I mean, the black with the pink.
Yeah.
I just totally fanboyed out, man. I'm just kidding.
Reasonable.
Actually, I did spend some money, but I got to know the dudes, man. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. They said hey to Banana Jake. Definitely said that. And, man, I got to see and meet a lot of people. I mean, Chip Hill was there. Austin Schultz, Vincent Chapman.
Saw some of my old teammates on Slump Buster.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Easton Army guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jaden,
Diaz.
Chris, yes. A lot of them, Gomez. It was cool to actually get to meet some of those dudes in person. And here's the good thing. I'm normally like the old dude that wears the eye black, and I'm the weird guy. But, like kids come out and hang out. They didn't boo me when they saw me in person. That was a good thing, Jake. Because, there's a little bit of that risk when I run into like a group of these dudes, and they're cool. I get it. They're like baseball cool now. They had the option of being like, psh, what's up, dude, and keep walking. But that's not how they did it, man. I felt good, dude. They accepted me. I felt like I was accepted into the community, Jake.
A lot of them are well trained with gelling with others and stuff.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you well trained in that too?
I mean, I should be by
I
now.
would, I would hope so. All right, dude. Well, look, this episode is actually sponsored by our guest tonight. And I know I've had some exciting last few weeks. You've had some exciting, but tonight's guest is even more exciting. So, joining us tonight from New York, founder of Proteqt 365, Mr. David Lipetz. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Coach Aaron and Jake and Dustin. Great to meet you guys. Heard a lot of great things about you and just blessed to be here.
Yeah, and for those that just tuning in, Dustin is Jake's dad. He's joining us tonight. Sometimes Jake, I forget that people like know who's in the episode before we reveal them. Like I always imagine this like big reveal, but it never happens that way. So anyway, all right, David, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Super excited. I've been aware of the product, the site for a little bit now through our mutual connection, and super excited for our audience to hear more about it. Okay, and so David, just like everyone else that starts us off, give us a 30-second elevator's pitch of who you are, and tell us if you played ball, how long you played, and then the last question that we ask everybody is, what's your favorite cereal?
I'll start with the last question, sugar snaps. And
Sugar snacks.
yeah, I remember those.
Wow.
I'll give you a little bit of a background about myself. I was not a baseball player. I was actually a Division I football player, a punter. And Jake, I'll
Let's
tell you
go.
that you and I shared a very similar platform where we were out there alone with thousands of people watching us.
Yeah.
But just to go back in terms of my background on PT, I've been practicing for 28 years right now. I've been all over the country, the world, Team USA, PT, World PT, you name it. And a few years ago, I decided to pivot out of traditional treatment and figure out what I can do for parents of youth athletes like yourself, Jake. Because the reality is, you're training like a professional athlete, and your dad, Dustin, has no infrastructure to make those critical decisions to help you get to that stage. I think it's a product of private equity and what's going on in the world of youth athletics, but it's a very commercialized space. We're asking you to train not like a kid, but we're not giving you the support. So what I did is I created a platform to support your father and your mother for the ultimate end user, which is you, to help you get to that next stage. And that's where we are today. We've got some of the most, coveted world experts on our platform, and we're no longer treating or dealing with youth athletes the way we used to. Now we're allowing them to have access to professional level decision making, whereas it should have been done a long time ago. It's long overdue, and now it's here, and that's what our platform does. And I could do a deeper dive, but that's a high level.
Well, that is so cool, Dave. I'm excited to learn more about Proteqt 365. And for those of you may be wondering, the reason why Dustin here is with us tonight, which is Jake's dad, is because we want an athlete and a parent to be able to communicate and ask David questions and really be able to hear responses, because we know Jake is a very athletic, active athlete, and we want to take care of Jake. So, Dustin, Jake, I know you guys have looked at the site a little bit. And before David kind of gets into really the nuts and bolts of everything, what did you guys see when you first started looking?
You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
I can go.
I liked it because, especially with where Jake's going next, where he's going to be a lot more active, because he's going to be attending a baseball academy starting in the fall, and doing virtual schooling at home. So he's going to be more active. He's going to go from being, I don't want to call it part-time, but we're going to be more consistent with his training. It's going to be more daily than, convenience of when we can get there. Because of just a little background, we travel about an hour plus for everything. from where we're
Yep.
located to where he goes for training and practices and everything like that. So right now we're moving out to where he'll be right down the street. So he's gonna be doing 4, 5, 6 days a week with pitching coaches, strength coaches, and all that stuff. So being able to figure out something, if something goes, it gets tweaked on the way home, he feels something, we can actually go through that. I also was looking at the part of about the mental part and the nutritional part. I think that would be huge for him because little boy over here who just went to his physical today, 7 pounds down. He needs to be 7 pounds up. We need to start figuring out a way we can pack on the weight. So I think that'll be a huge benefit for him moving forward to learn more about how it affects him. Because I don't think he realizes the actual effects of not having, like, I don't want to call it the fat, but the girth. Like, getting bigger, getting stronger. Being lean's cool. You look cool. You look good in all your, fits and stuff. But we need to get to a point where we're more athletic, and that includes getting a little bit bigger and stronger. So those are some of the parts that I was looking forward to and figuring out how that could affect him in the long run with that.
Very cool. Jake, what stuck out to you? And then we're going to let David run with it.
The mental performance part, back then when I did have like a mental coach, sort of, like I would have Zoom calls with her every once in a while, I was doing really well on my game and my confidence was back and everything. And then we sort of stopped that for a while. I didn't really notice a difference, but once I get a coach back or get a mental person to help me help with everything somehow, I would think I would be better. And then also the nutrition part. I have been on a protein kick lately, but I feel like I need more veggies and rice and all that.
Well, why don't you just eat it?
We
He
had
needs more caloric intake.
I
that
mean,
isn't coming
like,
from.
Dustin, I'm pretty a blunt person. Like, Jake, why don't you just eat the things you think you need?
Trust me, he has access to all of it.
I did
I
have
send him in
steak
to
and
get
rice
ice
the
at
other
the
day.
supermarket before he comes out with
That's-
a
That's
bar
the
cake.
ultimate answer I was looking for, Dustin. I knew he had access to it. He just chooses not to do it. So let me get this straight, David. I get on these rants sometimes when we're talking to kids. So you just need someone to prescribe to you. You need to eat it in order to eat it. Is that what you need?
Right.
Here's the thing though, Jake, like all other athletes, the very last person they're going to listen to, unfortunately, is their parent.
That's right.
Especially when they become, Jake's status and age. I mean, he's young for his status. His status is huge, but when you get to that level, and not to pump you up too much, Jake, because I don't want to be dysfunctional here, but I get it. I get where you're at. But when you have other professionals talking to you, it's going to make a big difference rather than your mom and dad. That's just the reality of things. So yeah, what I'm hearing is that the other verticals that we offer are very important. I think mental performance is incredibly important, especially for a pitcher. We always say it's great to treat the body, but if you don't train the mind, then you're way behind the 8 ball. And whether you know it or not, every single professional athlete has a mental performance specialist in their back pocket. And by the way, it doesn't mean something's wrong. It has nothing to do with that. It just means that you've never trained that muscle before. It's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle, and you got to train that. With regards to the nutrition, 100%. Again, not going to want to hear it from Dustin, dad, and the wife because you live there. But if you hear it from a professional who deals with elite youth athletes, you're going to take that advice a little differently.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Those are the other verticals. The main thing is really for you, Dustin, as a father, making those decisions very quickly to determine, what do I do right now? You guys are on the road, you're at tournaments, you need to know what's going on. You're getting chirping from coaches, academy directors, tournament directors. But at the end of the day, I don't want to sound negative, but nobody cares about your kid more than you. They care about wins and losses. And I think the most important thing is the health of the child and empowering you, Dustin, as a father to make those right decisions. So the verticals are great, and they're a complement to what we offer. But at the end of the day, it's about protecting this child and the health of him to get him to where we want him to be, which is.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, David. Before we get too into Jake, I want to actually stop and let's kind of focus to our audience first, so that they're kind of following along with us. David, I know you started the company. It's a subscription service, but this is a service so unlike anything that we've seen before, and it could be shocking to some people what you guys are offering. So tell our audience what Proteqt 365 is.
Yeah, I mean, shocking is a good word, I guess. We're filling a void where parents, I feel, have been alone for a very long time, and having to make these critical decisions within moments where they have an elite athlete and understand what things are important and what things are not. There's a lot of background noise, and when you look at youth sports as a whole, it's very commercialized. The one thing that parents don't have is infrastructure to make decisions. And I always say this, I say the ultimate consumer in this is the parent, and the ultimate end user is the child. So we focus on the child, but we also understand the only way to get them is the ultimate consumer. And so we really focus our efforts on delivering opportunity for that parent to make decisions, and so that they can get their kid to the stage that we all believe they should be at.
So when you say help them make decisions, what specifically are we helping them make decisions about?
Great question, Coach Aaron. So these are not decisions where we're telling a parent, okay, the child broke a leg, you need to go to the ER. They know that. These are not decisions where we're talking about go get a routine physical. These are decisions in what we call the gray zone, where it just doesn't seem right. You as a parent are noticing something, and an athlete is not willing to pull themselves out, but they're complaining to the parent all day long. And the parent has that struggle because the child is saying, don't tell my coach. But at the end of the day, the parent is hearing this at home, and they're concerned about their health. And they want to know, what do I do right now? So there's a real struggle there. And so what we do is we come onto the scene, I would say behind the scenes, to give that parent the information to make that powerful decision. And so they feel empowered, because right now the parents do not have that at all. And unfortunately, these situations, I would say over 50% of the time, are mismanaged, not because of ill intent of the parent. It's only because they don't have the ability or the infrastructure to make these decisions.
Well, when you think of,
go ahead.
When you think about some of the situations today, and as we talk to Jake and Dustin just about things they've been through, there's so many situations where, something just doesn't feel right. Right. And, maybe my shoulder hurts, or I tweak my back or something, and I go tell mom, and, sometimes it's just, you can't afford it. And it's walk it off, try to get better tomorrow. Or sometimes it's you just don't know what you don't know. Right. And being able, if there's a tournament coming up this weekend, because I could see this playing out, Dave, there's a tournament coming up this weekend, and I'm going to use Jake as an example, but not Jake's parents. But Jake's got a tournament coming up this weekend. His shoulder kind of feels stiff, and they really need him to pitch. And instead of calling someone that could help, they're going to push through until next week and see if they can get in to get the doctor, right? That's what I could see happening more times than not, when what you guys are offering is a panel of essentially experts to say, hey, wait, stop. You could be in some serious danger here if you proceed that way. To me, that's the valuable part right there, is just to say immediately stop and don't proceed. So anyway, Dave, I'm sorry.
Correct. No, you nailed it. I mean, these are the decisions parents are forced to make. And if they can make them with, an expert body behind them, then they're going to feel a lot more comfortable about
Exactly.
doing that. And it's tough, Coach Aaron. This world of youth sports, everybody wants their kid on the stage. Everybody wants their kid to have a Division I scholarship, go pro, yada, yada, yada. But I would say the same thing about the parents. Every parent wants their kid to be healthy. And I don't think any parent out there is going to sacrifice health. But there's this struggle. There's a struggle between getting a kid on the stage and then making the right decision. And that's where we come in. We really come in to partner with the parent. And by the way, it's not for this one-time decision. We're partnering with the parent for the entire career. So we start out with a profile of an athlete. We understand who the athlete is, and every iteration, every interaction we have with that athlete, we grow more and more with that family. And at the end of the day, you've got a quote unquote expert in the back of your pocket that you could pull out on your phone and get an answer in 90 minutes. That's unheard of right now. There's nothing out there like that for these parents of these elite athletes. And
Yeah.
that's what we're delivering.
Yeah. And I would even say from an elite athlete standpoint, like any of these athletes, I mean, it's there's kids out there every day that are elite talents, and we just need to take care of their bodies. And Jake, are you an elite talent?
I would say so.
Yeah. You need to eat vegetables, Jake. Then you'll be a real elite talent. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
All right, so we know you guys have seen the stuff. You looked on the site. Dustin, kind of walk us through, like, as a parent, because Jake's had some situations come up where he's had to stay off the field and rehab some. Like, what's some situations that you guys have dealt with as a parent?
His first one, what were you, 10 you still? Or were you 11? 11 you, right? 10?
Yeah.
That's when we had the growth plate issue in the shoulder.
I remember that.
And then we didn't know if that was a combination of overuse and just the growth plates being open because, I mean, he's spurted so many times now. But we had that. Then he came right back from that, and immediately we had the same problem in the elbow. So that didn't help us much at all. So that's kept us down for a while. And then the last one he had last year, and I'm going to probably mess up. I can't remember the Latin term, but whatever the puncher muscle was underdeveloped in his shoulder. So he had some shoulder tightness. But that was after like the gauntlet of July. So I think we might have overused him a little bit at that point. But at the same point, he was probably trying to push through at that point with who he was playing with.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the access to anything to let us know that we should have shut down earlier, or what the possible situation could have been.
Yeah.
Hearing that from you, Dustin, it just makes me think about so many cases where parents go down this road, and at the end of the day, they're becoming reactive, when in fact they should be proactive. And it should have started in the very beginning, because you talk about the shoulder, you talk about the elbow, but don't mistake that they're all related. And it's no different than a Yankee pitcher would have been dealt with, or dealt in terms of how they treated that pitcher. So again, you went down the road of multiple specialists to finally have an outcome that you weren't happy with, where it could have been nipped in the bud if you had the right structure. If you had somebody looking at your son's profile in the very beginning, they understood his age, they understood his pitch count, they understood his seasonality. And then when you come to us and you put in what we call an urgent request, we're putting all that into context, again, like a professional athlete. It would have saved parents like you a lot of time, and hopefully minimize the injury or the outcome that would have been.
So you said, as you build the profile, Dave, of this athlete, what's a profile of Jake look like? So you said something about pitch count. You guys care about his pitch count?
So when I say profile, we have to be careful, because we're not asking the parent to do a dumpster dump on everything about the child. We're mostly concerned about physicality. But we also have check-ins every 4 to 6 weeks regarding pitch count, regarding seasonality, if the kid changed a sport, if they change a position, because we're not only coming in based on what was being told to us in the past regarding pain or injury. We're also concerned about the entirety of the athlete. We
Right.
put it all together. So you can't ignore pitch count. You can't ignore seasonality. You can't ignore periodization. You can't ignore all the injuries and all the past. All of these things develop or contribute to what we call a profile. So that when we come on the scene, we're coming in hot. We're not coming in cold. We know exactly what we're dealing with. And we're trying to give you the best information that you could have to take the next step. By the way, we're never diagnosing a child. We're never treating a child. We're basically giving you professional grade next steps, similar to a Yankees pitcher or any other professional athlete that would have access to that. I'll come back to it. It's all about information. Information is golden. If you get the right information, that's where you want to be. I always say that medical advice is available to everybody, but it's not about medical advice. It's about the right medical advice.
Right.
Because you could get medical advice from an acupuncturist, an orthopedic surgeon, a physical therapist, Google. Doesn't mean it's the right medical advice. And unless you have a profile on that athlete, which I consider these kids professional athletes, you're not necessarily getting the right medical advice. That's where we live.
Yeah. I love that. That's why I asked the question around like pitch count and stuff, because I noticed you said it. Like, I love this, Jake, and tell me what you think about this, is the fact that even if you don't have an injury, there's still a need to check in. Right? There's
Yeah.
still a need to talk about what you're doing, like even as your workouts change, like
Yep.
being able to fill them in to kind of give them the full picture. Like, I mean, at your age, be honest, is this stuff important to you?
Yeah. I mean, injuries are the most common thing at my age, and having somebody there that you check in with every couple of weeks can be really helpful to see if what you're doing is useful or harmful. So, I mean, that's really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, because the reality of it is you get the wrong advice and you could be more harmful, right? Hey, I
Yep.
had I had an issue with my ankle, Jake. I'm an old person, right? I had runner's heel, and because I'd started running, I was doing pretty good, Jake. You had been proud of me, but I got runner's heel. Someone told me to put heat on it. Apparently, that's the opposite of what I was supposed to do, because as soon as I put ice on it, the swelling went down. But like, I got the wrong I got the wrong advice. But
Yeah.
it's just because I wanted to ask whoever the quickest person was and easiest person, and I didn't have Dave to call. Now I do.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Coach Aaron, it's not even about your heel and ice or heat. It's about understanding who Coach Aaron was, right? So if we
Hmm.
had a profile on Coach Aaron and knew that he never ran before, we're going to answer him a lot differently than if he was a runner. So, a superstar like Jake, we're coming into this a lot differently. And again, this goes back to giving parents the best information they could possibly have, not even just based on sports science, but based on their child, like based on who that kid is, where they're living, what they do, what's going on in the past. Like, as a parent, to me, I'd want all that information from a medical expert, right?
Well, I mean, you think about when
Speaking of that,
you. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No,
How
go
how
ahead.
far back like would you go with like a profile? Would we go back to like Jake? Now he's 13 now. How far back would you want that set up? Like to go
Yeah.
back to when he was like 8, 9, and know
Yeah.
everything about his entire career?
Yep.
Because like so like when he used to catch and pitch and then
Oh,
stuff
that's
like because that would
beautiful.
have a lot of effect on everything all the way down the road. Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
If you go into an NFL combine, right, and you look at, what these athletes do and the interviews they do, they're going back to high school. Like, they want to know everything about this athlete
Right.
only to make the right decisions. So I say to you as a parent, we want to know everything. If you
Okay.
and by the way, if you don't want to give us information, that's fine. If you just want to go back a year, we're not forcing you. But the more information we have, the better we are coming onto the scene. It makes sense, right? Like, I need to know what's going on in eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, whatever it is, because the answers I'm going to come up with for you are going to be predicated on what you gave me in the past. Now, if you gave me nothing, I'm still going to give you pretty good answers. But I'll tell you, if you give me a lot, I'm going to give you some next level answers that are going to make you make those right decisions immediately. So I say, as much as you could give us,
Perfect.
amen.
Yeah, paint the picture. I think I relate it to like a pediatrician, right? I had to take my son to his pediatrician today, and they kind of grow with the kid, right? Same concept as to like this is you get a chance to grow with the athlete, and you know what? When he hits a growth spurt again, that's something they're going to need to know, right? And that's to me that's the cool part. Now, Dave, you guys take it another level, and he submits videos to you, and you guys monitor and you take a look at his movement and stuff as well, right?
There's definitely the opportunity to do that. That's one of our verticals. That's not the heart of the machine.
Right.
And I'll tell you why, Coach Aaron, is because what happens there is then you become, there's a little conflict with the coaching and what you're seeing.
Yeah. So that's how I would see it, is kind of similar to that pediatrician. He kind of, like my son's pediatrician, kind of knows what he's been through since the day he was delivered.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, number one, we're never ever going to replace a pediatrician. Okay. They're a medical doctor. They know the child. They understand the history. But here's the difference. They're not trained to understand the nuances of a baseball pitcher or an athlete that has specific mechanical consequences.
Mm.
And because of that, it's unfair to ask a pediatrician advice on what do I do Saturday when it's Friday and the pitch count was X. It's not the type of thing they're trained for. And with all due respect, and they will tell you the same thing, it's not our lane. They're just looking out for regular health issues. But our medical team that built this framework are physicians that have dealt with athletes, who specialize with athletes, that enable us to give you the right information. But we'll never, ever replace your pediatrician. We'll never replace your physical therapist or whomever you have. What we're doing is telling you when you really need to call on them. Because the pediatrician doesn't want you calling on them unnecessarily either.
Right.
So everybody is playing the same card, which is, what is the ultimate for this child? What can we do to make it the best possible opportunity for the child, and give that parent the information they need to take the next steps? So hopefully that makes it a little bit clearer.
Yeah, totally does. I mean, and really at the end of the day, if you're still seeing your pediatrician, they're going to take the next steps to just refer you to a specialist just to get that opinion, right? That you guys are giving me there in the moment.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Jake, Dustin, what questions you guys have for David?
I have one.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned that you were a physical therapist for Team USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think your past experience with that job has helped you with what you're doing right now?
Jake, that's a great question. So I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive on it rather than just give you an answer. I'll say that when you're a PT at that level, and not that I'm pumping myself up at all, but when I say that level, I mean understanding like what that parent has gone through. You've seen it all. Like, you've seen all the mistakes the parent has made. It's not about me being a PT of Team USA. It's about me experiencing what parents have gone through. So I feel like that has given me the impetus, or even the power, to help make these decisions for parents like yours, so that mistakes aren't being made, because I've seen them all. And I say I've seen them all because at USA, that's the highest level, right? And these are kids that are, like you. And I'm thankful to have had that opportunity and grow and understand what these families have been through and learn from them. So, great question. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, after seeing and hearing just their experiences, like you're well educated just by that. You know,
Right.
Jake, one of the things you're going to learn in life is just the things that go on around you, the people that you communicate with. You're learning everything, dude. That's all experience. That's why your parents, no matter how much you say you think you know more than them, they're always wiser. They're always, because they're older than you.
I
Right,
love
Dustin?
that.
Right, Dustin?
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Dustin's like, yeah, maybe sometimes. Dustin,
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe sometimes. So Dustin, like, as you started looking into Proteqt 365, because obviously I introduced you guys to the brand. What
Right.
questions stick out for you? What things do you want to know from David?
One thing I was kind of wondering about is how, with the 90-minute and then the quicker reaction to it, how does that elevate? Does it elevate itself type thing, or is that somehow, how do we get from like longer to like I need him next inning and we got to
Yep.
make that quick decision?
Great,
I was
great
wondering if
question.
that's
So
automated
tell us,
or some other way.
tell us about this, Dave. What is this he's talking about?
Yeah, great question, Dustin. It really is the heart of our platform, and clearly you've gone through it. But once we have a profile, then we're banking on you as a parent to call on us, right? So you could call on us through what we call an urgent request through business hours. Of course, we're not there at 2 o'clock in the morning, but
Right.
we're there 7 days a week through business hours. And what happens is, let's say your son is pitching, right? And you need to answer fast. Well, that triage is going to be a lot different than the 90-minute request, which is Jake's limping at home or he's complaining. I don't know if he should practice the next day. So we give that to you as a parent based on what to do right then and there, because we believe the most important thing is making that kid safe, right? And we're very conservative. I'm going to tell you, we're very conservative in that situation. And when you have a 10 or 11-year-old, you're alone there. You're alone on an island, and you're the ultimate decision maker. You're the CEO. You're looking at the coach. You're looking at the other team. Your kid doesn't want to come out. We're going to give you 3 specific questions to ask that kid. And if any of those answer yes, you're done, meaning we're going to tell you to pause. In terms of the 90-minute request, that's the more frequently used request, where you're up at night and you're spiraling and you're making dinner and you're thinking, my son complained of XYZ today. I didn't like what I saw in practice. My wife or my husband is telling me something I never heard about. Well, at that point, you're going to be able to go into a little deeper dive of a triage. And we're going to tell you exactly what to do. And ultimately is going to be, you're going to be able to monitor him. And if that's the case, we're going to give you exactly what you need to monitor. He's going to be allowed to participate. We're going to say, based on patterns that you're demonstrating, participation is key. Or we're going to suggest either medical clearance or an in-person evaluation. But prior to that, you have nothing. You have Google. So right now, what we're doing is we're
Google's the
giving you,
worst.
Google is the worst. Well, here's the thing. What I always say is that you guys as parents are living in the world of uncertainty. And what we're doing is we're allowing you to live in the world of certainty. So it's
I like that.
uncertainty versus certainty. Wouldn't you want to have certainty when you're pouring all of your emotions, finance, your lifestyle into your child when you don't have it? Well, now you have it. So that's the 2 differences between the 90 and the 5-minute response time. And I'll say this to Coach Aaron. I think you and I had a discussion. We don't just come back with the report. What we do is we come back with a report and a link to talk to us. So we're not exactly just giving you an MRI report or a report of what we see. We're saying, hey, Dustin, check this out. If you have any questions, ping us. You're right in our schedule. We're going to walk you through it. And then the parent has a true partnership with somebody, and there's a human connection behind it. And I will tell you,
I got to
yeah,
ask this question, David. Hold on.
yeah,
Do they speak English? The people I'm talking to?
depends what state you're in.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
South Carolina, there's no English. It's just y'alls.
Dude, he said that with a straight face too. I had to give it to you there, Dave. That you got me there. That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupt. You keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I always felt like, it's not just delivering you, Dustin, as a father with information. And by the way, the information is so in depth that you kind of get everything you need. It's like a real, it's intense in terms of what to look for. What do I do now? can my kid participate? I mean, it answers every single question, but at the end of the day, there are those parents who just want to talk to a human. And so we
Right.
have humans behind this. And what I will also say is that some parents ask us, is this AI? No, it's not AI. There's no AI
Ooh.
here in delivering your decisions. AI helps us in organizing all the data, but certainly is never giving us the decisions that we make as humans, right? So, imagine you being able to connect with an expert and talk to you about what
Right.
we're saying,
How
You know,
many people are
Perfect.
behind this?
behind the scenes, Jake, you asking?
Yeah.
right?
Um,
Jake, you said how many people? So right now we've got, let's see, we've got 3 engineers, 2 coders, we've got 7 physical therapists, and then multiple advisors within the sports medicine, industry.
I know, and I know we've spent a lot of time talking about shoulders and arms because Jake's a pitcher. But what about a knee? What about a I mean, just something that's not pitching elbow or something like you're
Yeah.
there for all athletes. Like
Oh yeah,
tell us like
yeah,
what you got. You've already got influencers out there in many different sports, right, Dave?
right. Yeah, yeah. So we're what we call it, we're sport agnostic. Jake, that's a great SAT word for you, by the way, agnostic, meaning we're not just about baseball. We're about every sport. And fun fact for you guys, do you know what the fastest growing sport is in America?
Pickleball.
Pickleball, probably.
Huh?
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
No, 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 for youth athletes.
Oh,
Oh, oh, that's a kids don't play that.
flag
Um,
football.
No,
it's
it's
lacrosse, isn't it?
volleyball. No,
Oh,
Oh yeah,
it does make
yeah,
sense. I didn't think it was growing. I thought it was already huge.
dude, they're selling out stadiums and packing
oh yeah,
those things in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're selling out, 100,000 seat stadiums for high school championships. So
Yeah,
we're every sport, we're every part of the body. The human body is the human body. To us, it doesn't really mean much about your sport. Now we have experts within the sports to understand like what a pitch count means and what the vulnerability of an ACL tear means for a young female athlete in soccer. But at the end of the day, it's about the human body. It's about patterns that the human body demonstrates. It's about what the parent is reporting to us. And it's about our algorithms that allow our humans to make expert decisions and giving you the right steps.
I think it's incredible. I mean, for
Thank you.
anyone out there listening, I mean, we have to, there is a fee per month, Dave. Like this is a premium service that there is a fee. And for those of you that guys thinking that this is like $1,000 a month for, because you like, this sounds like that type of service, Dave, how much is it a month?
So right now, as a founding member, and we've got 500 slots, and I think we're up to like a couple hundred people, it's $149 a month.
Okay.
And if you sign on, you use the founder code, which is all cap founder. It'll guide you that way. And that those are our fees. Now I will tell you, surprisingly, we have families that come on most oftenly not with just one athlete.
I was going to ask you multiple
Yeah,
athlete
I,
discount.
I had a mom today come on with a 12, 10, and 7 year old, and she wanted all the kids on it. And I said, you know what? I never wanted to make this a financial burden on parents. And so what we offer is 149 as a founder. What was it? 99 second athlete, $79 third athlete, and then any other athlete after that, it's free. Um, because we're not look we're not for the rec family. I get that, and I understand and I respect people's financial situations, but we also have a major team behind us that has spent a lot of time, and we really want to do the right thing by families. But unless we have the fees that we charge, we can't really support those families the way we want to support
Of
them. So we
course.
try to do our best to find that like that happy place. And we feel like that's fair compared to what a lot of travel athletes are paying at this time.
I feel like it's one of those things that, you buy a warranty on your car, right? Some of us buy a warranty on our car and we hope we never need to use it, right? That's
Right.
has insurance same way. To
Right.
me, for what you get here in that minimum 149, and I don't say that as it's I know it could be a lot of money to some, but if you have an athlete like Jake and you want to have that person to bounce ideas off, and you don't want to have to make an appointment with a specialist that's probably a month booked out every time you want to do that.
That's what I'm about to say.
Like, no specialist has next day availability.
Yeah.
90-minute availability.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
and Jake, that's a pretty good deal, man. And
yeah.
and
I
I
mean,
like about it, you have to check in.
The
I like
thing I like is whenever you have an injury, I can say from experience, is waiting a couple days to see what you have kind of sucks because you have to make an appointment and it's not going to be in the next couple of hours, going to be at a pretty much long time. And you're just be sitting there wondering what you have when you have somebody that you can just text on your phone saying what you have and they reply in 90 minutes, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Could I just jump on that, Jake? Because you brought up a great point, and I'm gonna go a little deeper in what you said because this is important. Everybody needs to hear this. When you're an athlete of your caliber, and you have to wait, let's call it 48 hours for an answer as to what to do, what that does to you mentally is big. And I always say, even if you don't have a mental performance coach, if you don't deal with an injury the proper way, it's going to have an effect on you mentally.
Yep.
And so for that reason, the expediency of what we're delivering to parents is very powerful. And, that's a great point, waiting all that time. And by the way, Dad, Dustin, you're stressing out just as much as Jake is waiting to get that appointment.
Trust me. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You wait 3 or 4 days to find out you got to wait 8 more weeks.
Yeah.
For real.
It's
like, it'll take us a few
that's
days.
not only that, but you're all the bad scenarios start running through your head after
And
the first 24
Googled,
hours.
and you've chat
Oh yeah,
GPT.
you never Google medical stuff. I learned that when the wife was pregnant. That was the biggest mistake in the world because they don't give you best case scenarios. They only give you worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you're
because
thinking everything.
they have to.
Yeah.
They have to for liability standpoint. And again, I want to go back to this. We're never diagnosing. We're never treating.
Right.
What we're telling you is where you need to go. Now, here's the reality. A lot of these kids end up in physical therapy, and I'm a physical therapist, for 3 to 4 weeks, 3 times a week. For what? They didn't need to be there. And that messes up their mental component as well when they could have been at home doing stuff. Medicine is a business, hate to say it, but we have to be careful in where we go, when we go, and what we say and what we do. Because the same thing is with professional athletes. They're cutting through all this stuff and they're getting to the right answer, the right decisions. And that's what we help you as a parent make.
I love it, man. I think it's awesome, Jake.
That's awesome.
I'll say this, Dave. Not too many times during an episode you get to see a lot of Jake's emotions, but I see excitement a little bit in Jake's face, a little bit. I see some smiles. Like I think you genuinely like made him excited. So, and I know we called this out earlier, Dave. So that's the base platform that you guys offer, and then addition to that, you guys offer the nutrition as well, the mental health aspect. What other verticals do you guys have there?
Yeah, so I always thought it was important. Here's the thing. I mean, a lot of families don't have access to specialists. And so what I did is I tried my best to figure out economically, how do I include all the things that round out an athlete where they're not they're not verticals on steroids, but at least we're giving kids foundation. So what we do, including our membership, is we give a family, number one, a mental performance questionnaire to give them a real understanding of where their child stands, their strengths and their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
We give them a deep dive into their nutrition to understand strength and weaknesses. And in strength and conditioning, if they don't have a available strength and conditioning coach, we actually have them upload videos of their children performing 4 functional movements. And we have specialists that will provide your child a program based on their sport and periodization throughout the season. Within the nutrition and the mental performance, after you get those reports, we allow you to book with a specialist if you choose to do so and go down that road. At that point, you leave our platform. We're just going to hand you off to somebody we've vetted and we feel comfortable within youth sports. So again, if a parent doesn't have access to those verticals, I always thought that I wanted to make these things available to parents and find a way how to economically include them in the price. And I think we did that pretty well.
I would say a lot of it is just giving the access, right? I think, I think Jake, someone said this at the very beginning, I believe it was, but you don't have to have something wrong with you to go talk to somebody. And it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean you're a bad person if your kid needs to talk to somebody. It doesn't mean you're a bad parent. And I can't stress that enough. But just giving people access. Hey, oh, wow, I do have access. People are more likely to go for things that they know is easy accessible. And I think that is great, Dave.
Thank you.
Need to talk to you about probably getting a job like what you do. And I think we could talk some business there. And but no, I think it's great, man. And
I have one more question.
Yeah.
So whenever
Hold on one second. Did you guys hear that rattle?
So whenever someone has an injury, do you think that they overthink the injury and make it seem worse than it really is?
Wow, that's a good question. So what we do is we're parent facing, not athlete facing. So whatever you say to your mom or dad, we're going to take that as real advice. Now, whether you're overreacting or underreacting, we can't tell. All we could tell is what you're saying. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure you're safe. So if you were overreacting and we gave you a more escalated decision, I'm okay with that because you're safe. If you're underreacting, we're going to give you what we think is appropriate. And then it's up to the parent, based on our responses over time to figure out what these things are looking like in terms of responses and questions.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of those, Jake, I could see that happening. But I mean, I think at the long term, if the player is in it for the right reasons and they want long term like success, they shouldn't overreact with those kind of things. I can see some stuff though. Anyway.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Jake. I hear where you're coming from and I don't want to make it like children are overreacting, but here's the thing. If they're overreacting and we're giving them the reactions based on, or the answers based on what they're stating, then they're going to get escalated decisions, meaning pause participation or sit out. And eventually the parent's going to catch on to that, meaning, okay, well, maybe this child doesn't really want to play. And guess what? Maybe that saved that kid mentally because they didn't want to be in the sport.
Right. I totally agree with you right there. Jake, you could see some of those type of situations playing out?
Yeah. I feel like a ton of kids are just playing the game because of their parents. Something that they got put into when they're young.
Yep.
And they just kept on going with it because their parents wanted them to get somewhere.
Oh, see what Dustin didn't know is, Dustin, you're actually on a reality show, and Jake is confessing this to you right now.
Yeah.
How
watching
funny
too much
would
Love
that
Island.
No,
Yeah.
but one thing,
Jake.
one person that I feel like relates to that is Michael Jackson. I never knew, once I watched the movie about him, that he never wanted to sing and he got forced to by his dad. And I feel like that's what a lot of kids with sports do these days.
I agree. I agree.
You know,
I also think
I
this is a
hope
good thing too, because there's a lot of times when, depending on situations in games, parents think that their kid's faking injuries because they want to get away from stuff. But if you can get the right information to the right people and you find out about it to find out it's actually legit, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like a lot of times the kid gives up 5 or 6
Cry
hits and
wolf,
all of a sudden
yeah.
he's like, "Oh, my elbow hurts,"
Yeah.
and it's but then if you can you have the right questions to ask and you get the right information to the right people, I think it can also change things too. And then we go back to the situation where maybe the kid wants to get out of playing the sport,
Yeah.
and you help him.
Yeah,
that
I mean
way.
right, Jake, great point there. You're super intuitive, and I would say, if I was the child, I'd be thankful I had this platform because I'm giving that kid an out. because I'm just responding. Our platform's just responding to what they're reporting, and
Right.
if what they're reporting is intended to get them out of the game, and we're neutral, we're just going on reports from like orthopedic medicine. At least it makes
Right.
their issue a little bit less combative with the environment they're dealing with.
Exactly.
Maybe
Right.
it's a nicer way to get out of sport.
Yeah.
If you will.
Well, and at the end of the
Right.
day, being a part of something that you really don't want to be a part of is not mentally good for you and can cause even more issues down the road. So,
100%.
but Dave, look, I appreciate you being here, dude. Definitely look forward to learning more. My son is definitely going to be signing up. Jake, you're signing up as well, I believe, right,
Yep.
sir? Yep.
Yep.
And so we'll definitely keep you in the loop on how things are going. But we cannot let you leave until we ask our very last question. Now, I feel like, I don't know, Jake, your dad was on here before when we had MLB player Johnny Gomes on here. He didn't get asked that question, did he?
He must.
I
He
don't think
should
we
have.
asked your
I
dad.
don't think so.
Yeah, we asked
Yeah.
Johnny, but we didn't ask your dad. So
No.
anyway,
Oh,
David, this is the hardest question that we ever ask anyone, and I've seen it stump more adults than kids.
Yep.
So,
Go for it.
Jake, set it up.
All right. It's the bottom of the ninth, Game 7 of the World Series. Tie game, bases loaded, 3-2 count, 2 outs, and you're up to
Oh,
the
hold
bat.
on. Actually, he's a punter.
how's it a 3-2
He's a-
count if he's walking up to the plate?
He's.
Oh, well,
Hold on. I can do better at this one. All right, he's a punter. So let's take the different route.
ooh.
All right, Dave. It
Yep.
is 30 seconds left in the game. Your team just went ahead by a field goal. You were the holder, maybe, and you went ahead by one. But you got Peyton Manning on the other side, and all he needs is 35 yards, and he's in scoring position. You get introduced to come out onto the field and make this punt and bury them in their own end zone. What's going to be your walkout song onto the field? See?
AC/DC Thunder.
Oh, okay. I like that.
A couple of times for walk-up songs.
What's that?
I feel like we got that a couple of times for
We've
walk-up
gotten
songs.
several AC/DC, but definitely, I think I don't know if that might be one of the first times we've. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic right there, man. Thunderstruck. That's what it was. Thunderstruck. Yeah.
Thunderstruck.
Yep. Well, awesome. Well, Dave, you're part of the family now. Anybody that gets to share their walk-up music with us is now a part of the slide. Dustin, you're walking up the plate, bottom of the seventh. You're walking up with the bases apparently the loaded, and
With
you've
a
got a
full
full
count.
count already. What's going to be your walkout music, Dustin?
To be 100% honest with you, I was thinking Thunderstruck a couple seconds ago if you asked me
No
that question.
way.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's a
a
great
good one.
song.
Roll
I mean,
with
it
it.
makes
All
all
right.
the songs. But,
Something with Northeast people and
Northeast?
Thunderstruck.
oh no, shipping up to Boston.
Okay. There you go. These are
I
Boston
actually walked into my
guys.
wedding to that, so yeah. That's
Oh,
my
yeah?
go-to song. Oh, we had,
Well,
we had
very
the best
cool.
time.
Well, Dave, thank you very much. Tell everyone listening and watching at home, how can we look you up? How can we find more and get signed up for Proteqt 365?
Absolutely. So it's Proteqt 365. It's PROTEQ, not a C, T365.com. And as I stated before, we have a founder member rate right now, which is 149 versus 179. Just putting the code for founder, all caps. And when you do sign up, there's a link to chat with me. And I really encourage parents to do that. In fact, if they don't sign up and they want to chat, that link is available to them. I'm more interested about the relationship and people really wanting to understand like what we have to offer them than just
Yeah.
signing up, because that's what it means. That means a lot to me. And Aaron, I told you this maybe a conversation ago. As long as I can do it, I'm going to talk to as many families as I can. I'll spend every single day, every minute doing that, because that's the most important thing. It's about trust. It's about relationship. It's about making the right decisions for the end user, which is you, Jake.
I love it. I love it. Like,
Awesome.
to me, that's what it's about, man. You know what? If more parents understood that, Dave, that it was more about the child, we'd be a lot better place than we are today. But unfortunately, that's not where we live. Anyway, Jake, how can we find you on social media?
22_Jakey.
You still wearing 22?
Yep. Hopefully,
All
at
right.
8:30 I would.
All right. What's
22
gonna be?
22 is the best pitching number. So
Okay. I'd go with 31, Greg Maddux.
if you want to throw gas, then 22 is the way to go.
Whatever. I'm just kidding. Your dad looks very confused right now. So,
Who's
Dustin,
throwing gas at 20? Kershaw's good, but he's going for his curveball.
Yeah, Dustin, you want us to look you up on social media for anything?
No, I'm fine. I'm
Okay,
good. I think the
all
high
right.
on social media. We're good.
Thank you, everyone, for following the show. Follow us on social media. You can find us at the Slide Podcast Show.com and the same for all socials. Go follow us on YouTube and recommend us to a friend. If you know someone out there that deserves to be on this show, and I don't say deserve because they hit that game-winning home run. I mean deserves because they're a hard worker and they have a good story to tell and inspire some other kids, send them our way. That's what we want, Jake, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look at Jake. I mean, he's just a hard-working kid, you know. He don't give us a ton of emotion, but he's there. He's my rock, man, and I appreciate you, Jake, very much. All right, guys, thank you again. Awesome. Jake, close us out.
All right, Dave. Until next time.
We'll catch you on the slide.
Thanks for joining the action and sharing our love for the game. Now go practice your swing, or at least look like a pro in the mirror. Subscribe and follow the Slide Podcast and the Field Team on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your favorite social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review, a thumbs up, and recommend us to every person you meet. Got a question? Drop it in your review. We might just answer it on the podcast. Keep grinding, dreaming big, and remember, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Till next time, we'll catch ya on